Who are you going out to the polls to support this year?
I'm these nuts.
These nuts?
Yeah.
Is that your honest candidate choice?
Honestly, yeah.
You know, it's really a shame, but a large amount of American voters are just kinda dumb. You know, there was a recent study conducted that showed that 90% of Americans will believe any statistic given to them. I just made that up and you probably believe me. But in all seriousness, it's no secret that American voters are pretty ignorant. So the other day, me and my good friend Luke went into the city to experience this ignorance, this bias, and this overall dumbness firsthand.
So who are you going to be voting for?
Hillary.
Hillary Clinton. Okay. What are your thoughts on Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump referring to at-risk black youth as super predators?
My reaction is totally disgusted that somebody who's running for the highest office in the land would use the language that he uses. To me, he is just low class. I don't care how much money he has no morals.
No morals?
No morals.
What if I said the quote super predators was actually a quote used by Hillary Clinton in a speech made in 1994?
I'd have to verify that.
They are often the kinds of kids that are called super predators. No conscience, no empathy. We can talk about why they ended up that way, but first we have to bring them to heel.
It's hard for me to believe that Hillary would be so unladylike.
So here's where a huge amount of bias is blown wide open. Look again at this woman's reaction when she believes the quote is from Donald Trump.
My reaction is totally disgusted. To me, he is just low class.
Low class. She didn't need any verification. She believed it instantly.
Quote super predators was actually a quote used by Hillary Clinton in a speech made in 1994.
I'd have to verify that.
But when a bad light was cast on Hillary Clinton, then she needed to verify that. There was no verification needed when Donald Trump was the vilified one. But as soon as it was Clinton, then she needed a fact check. Why?
Are you a Bernie Sanders supporter?
Yes, I am.
As a Sanders supporter, what are your reactions to Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump saying, quote, climate change is directly related to the growth of terrorism?
I think that's absolutely ridiculous. There's been numerous studies showing otherwise. Most of his quotes and his statements are unfounded, and I think that people need to do a little bit more research before they believe anything he says.
In the previous debate, you said the greatest threat to national security was climate change. Do you still believe that?
Absolutely. In fact, climate change is directly related to the growth of terrorism.
Would you ever vote for a man like that?
Absolutely not.
So this woman says she would absolutely not vote for a man who said the climate change remarks when she believed it to be Donald Trump. She also says that people need to do a little more research. Now listen, I don't have a problem with this girl voting for Bernie Sanders. I personally appreciated how much Bernie Sanders genuinely seemed to care for the American people. I do have a problem that this woman is literally doing the opposite of what she's saying other people should do. Research. That is plain and simple ignorance.
Who are you voting for president this year?
Probably Hillary.
Hillary Clinton. Yeah. Who will you be voting for in this year's election?
Probably Hillary Clinton.
I want to get your reactions to a few remarks made by Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. What are your opinions on him referring to at-youth blacks as super predators?
I find that bigoted and just plain out racist.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, same.
And then I want to get your thoughts and opinions on an excerpt we took from a speech made by Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton after the Orlando nightclub shooting. A radical Islamic terrorist targeted the nightclub not only because he wanted to kill Americans, but in order to execute gay and lesbian citizens.
I agree to it. I've actually been to that club because I go to school in Orlando, and but what I've heard is that he's been there before, so probably.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have much to say. It was horrible tragedy and stuff. So.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, you gotta speak in political correctness, and saying it stemmed from radical Islam is just kind of the systemic, approach to a lot of political banter.
What would your reaction be if I told you those quotes were switched? That the excerpt taken was actually from Donald Trump, and that the super predators was actually a remark made by Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton?
I'd be pretty surprised.
Not very surprised, actually.
Then I'd say it's probably... Dang. I don't know what to say.
This is the type of person that Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, our politicians rely on to get elected.
I love the poorly educated.
A transcript from WikiLeaks revealed that Hillary Clinton's campaign believes ignorant voters are the best key to win. She wants to achieve consistency, and the best way to do that is to keep the people ignorant. Well, if you ask me, I think she's done a pretty good job. Of course, we also spoke to some more educated people who had developed their opinion in an intelligent and well-informed way, but the majority of people interviewed were ill-informed. Our political system currently relies on this ignorant way of thinking, this obvious bias. So the question is where and why? Where is this incredible ignorance and bias coming from? I personally believe the media plays a huge part in creating bias by reporting quotes wildly out of context, siding with the candidate of their choice, so much so to completely feed us false information. This is the result of eating that up. It's time to get educated and open our eyes to this bias that we're subconsciously taking in every single day. Another reason for this ignorance and bias is due to the regressive voices shouting the loudest. So loud, in fact, they intimidate opposing views. Expressing a view against their own earns you a label of racist, bigot, or you're accused of having hate speech. The political system is split so heavily into two parties, we spend more time arguing and attempting to vilify the other side that we miss out on learning the actual truth. You see, guys, that's not the way it should be. Both sides possess sensible options to certain issues. But instead of trying to find the middle ground, the regressive methods shut down any opposition, leading to people growing up in an echo chamber, finding outside opinions toxic. And this, of course, leads to little learning, heavy bias, and opinion based on nothing. So please, no matter who you plan on voting for, do your own research, form your own opinion, don't be silenced by others who attempt to vilify you for opposing their views. And finally, please Americans, just frickin' vote!